Again, someone's really got to stop cutting that music. As we all know, guys, police officers have a rather hard job as criminals are starting to get a lot more sophisticated and a lot more daring. However, I've put together a list of the top 10 dumbest criminals that the police caught relatively easily. In fact, everyone on this list was, apart from one, was caught within a day, basically. So here it is, top 10 dumbest criminals. In Western Michigan in 2013, an unnamed, dim-witted thief walked into a local convenience store with the intent on shoplifting. His intended target were kitchen knives. These ones right here. But he didn't have a bag or any large pockets in which to put them, so he decided to place them in his belt. Unfortunately, when the employees of the store caught him, he made a run for it, tripped over his own feet, and because of everything that was in his belt, he was stabbed several times in the stomach and the lower legs. Now, this is just a reminder to all of you that your parents don't teach you not to run with sharp objects for no reason. So those of you kids watching, don't run with scissors, it's dangerous. Quentin Thomas was spending some quality time in a Maryland prison for armed robbery one day, when he thought of a bright idea to write a special letter to a friend of his on the outside. He knew that at the particular prison he was at, they didn't screen outgoing mail, only incoming. So he wrote a letter to his friend on the outside, basically asking him to find anyone who was going to testify against him for the other crimes that he was arrested for, but he hadn't been convicted of yet, and to kill them. Now, whether or not he got his buddy's address wrong or didn't put the right postage stamp or anything like that, we just don't know. What we do know is that he labelled it return to sender. So when it reached the wrong address or didn't get there at all, it came back to the jail and they screen incoming mail. So, needless to say, when the guards opened this, he was immediately charged with several other counts, adding to the ones that he was already in there for. He is currently serving life in Maryland for all his particular crimes. At number 8, here is a tip for all you wannabe criminals out there. If you're going to rob a house, and I pray that you don't, do not log in to your Facebook account from their home computer. And then when you leave, don't stay logged in. Because guess what? That is what mega genius / dumbass Jonathan G. Parker did in Pennsylvania while robbing a Pennsylvania house in 2014. Okay, needless to say, when the family came home, they found their Facebook open, called the police, and he was immediately arrested. Some people. Some people. At number 7, in Ontario, Canada, a man by the name of Daniel Glenn wanted to rob a local convenience store. Now, he wanted to know how big a bag to take with him to keep the cash in, but he didn't know how much cash the store kept in their registers. So like any normal criminal would do, he called them and asked. The shop owner, being suspicious of somebody wanting to know exactly how much money was in their register, called the police, and less than 2 hours later, Mr. Daniel Glenn turned up with a rather large bag and demanded cash from the register, at which point 3 undercover cops who were in the convenience store pounced on him and arrested him and charged him with armed robbery. In Lapate, Maryland, Wesley Jumper and Sean Stewart are apparently very dirty and very stupid. How else do you explain their decision? 1. To rob a CVS drugstore of $500 worth of shampoo and soap. And 2. To make a getaway in Wesley's work vehicle. Now, Wesley's work vehicle is this: a Good Humor ice cream truck. So can you imagine how quickly the police were able to find and arrest these 2 idiots? These 2 criminals will have more than just a brain freeze to worry about now that they've been caught. At number 5, now this next criminal was never destined for anything fantastic. His name is Victor Marin. He broke into an apartment and stole $218. You know, not a lot, but, you know, he was going to get away with it until, for some unknown reason, he decided to take his wallet out to check to make sure he had his ID. And then on the way out, guess what he left behind? Yes, that's right, his wallet, with his ID in it. Now, as he was leaving this particular apartment, a couple of minutes later he realized that he had left his wallet behind. So he returned to get it, but the owners had already returned. The owners had called the police, but he didn't know that. So what they decided to do, and they said, if you want your wallet back, slide the money you've taken from us underneath the door. Now, he had stolen $218, but they were in $1 bills. So it was quite a large bundle of money, which he struggled to get under the door. 5 minutes later, as he was still trying to push money underneath the door, the police arrived and arrested him. Guess the moral of the story is either don't rob a house or don't leave your ID behind, or don't be a dumbass. At number 4, in Warsaw, Poland, Polish author Christian Bala, 34, might have gotten away with murder. That is, if he hadn't written about it in his book. His 2003 novel Amok was a bestseller in Poland. However, he paid the price when police noticed that the details of the murder in his book matched those of an unsolved murder in 2000. The similarities, let's try that again, led the police to investigate further, discovering connections between Bala and the victim that they didn't previously know about, including the fact that the victim was romantically involved with Bala's ex-wife. He was finally caught and arrested in 2007 and has currently been sentenced to 25 years in prison. You know, for a smart person, he's really stupid. At number 3, in Fort Myers Beach, amateur criminal, or professional dumbass, whichever way you want to look at it, Christopher Crone was having a really bad day. He had decided that he was going to break into a restaurant, but made several mistakes along the way. Mistake number 1. He set off the alarm when he broke in. Mistake number 2, he failed to leave even though he heard the alarm sounding. Mistake number 3, when the security company of the restaurant called to see what was going on, he picked up the phone. Mistake number 4, when they asked him who he was, he gave them his name. I'm not finished yet. Mistake number 5, when he finally decided that maybe it was a good time to leave the restaurant, the only things he took with him were a Grand Marana and a beer. Yeah, he went to all that trouble for that. And then, mistake number 6, the police hadn't yet found him the next day, so what did he decide to do? He was a little bit hungry, so he went to have something to eat. Where did he go? The restaurant he just robbed, where the employees had all been shown the footage of who had broken in. Needless to say, he was arrested almost on sight. But he did manage to eat a couple of breadsticks before the police got to him, so I don't know if he counts that as a win or not. In Athens, Georgia, Demetrius Robinson, 28, decided that he wanted to rob a local golden pantry store. But he needed an excuse until it was just him and one clerk left on duty at the end. So what did he decide to do? He decided to fill in an application form. Right? Nothing harmless about that, except for the fact that he used his real name, and left his real phone number, and left an emergency contact information of his uncle, who was a police officer. So needless to say, when the store was robbed, they had a full list of where he lived, his phone number, and who to call in case of an emergency. Oh, and needless to say, he didn't get the job. At number 1, having just been released from a Maryland prison, Frank Singleton didn't have a ride home. So like any natural criminal would, he decided to carjack a lovely young lady in the prison parking lot. Now, he almost got away with it, except for the fact that he cannot drive a stick shift. When he finally figured out that he couldn't drive this car, the prison officials were already on the scene. He was arrested almost immediately. When the police turned up to read him his rights and take his statement, he basically said he didn't feel like walking. You know, sometimes life just makes you want to cry, but on this time it just makes you want to laugh. Well, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this look at the top 10 dumbest criminals of all time. If any of you think you're having a bad life, trust me, it's nowhere near as bad as the 10 dumbasses you've just seen in this particular video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash the like button down below. I really would appreciate it. I'm also on Twitter and Facebook. The links to both of those will be in the description below if you want more daily updates from the Shadow Legion. Also, don't forget to hit that red subscribe button and you'll receive instant notifications when I upload. I upload every Sunday, and every now and again when I'm feeling like it, you'll get an extra little video during the week if you're really lucky. So like I said, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you next Sunday with a brand new video.